Hey there, everyone. Okay, we are going to get started in just a second. I'm just going to pull up the other video on my computer to make sure we have a good connection, because I know last time we had some issues. Okay, perfect. It's looking good so far. Okay, so I want to welcome you all to summer camp. I'm so excited to be here tonight. So just a little update. Our guest speaker is having some technical issues, but I think we got it resolved, so she should be on any second, but I always have a backup plan. That's the good thing about me. I always have a backup plan. We always pivot. So regardless, if she doesn't get on, what we'll do is we'll have a recording available. I have lipstick on my teeth, and no one told me. Oh my gosh, she's coming on. I see her. Yay, we don't even have to pivot. Okay, Lafrida, are you there?
I'm here.
Thank you. You did it. All right. Well, they can just all ignore what I just said because you did it. Look at you. All right, are you ready? Deep breath. I kept telling Lafrida, I'm like, don't stress. It's not a big deal. Don't stress. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And it was just your browser. Go figure. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to summer camp. Ignore the first 30 seconds that I said because we don't need to pivot anymore, which I'm very excited. And I'm going to jump right in. I also want to say last week, I am so sorry for the technical difficulties. If there is ever a technical difficulty, please send me a text message if you have my cell phone number, or message your director and she'll send me a text message. I was able to watch the playback without a problem, and several other people were, so hopefully you can hop on and watch that. It was an incredible training with Tracy. So if you were having issues with it, maybe try it like on an actual computer and not your phone, or a different browser, because the rule of thumb is if one person can watch it, then it's an issue on your end, not everyone else's end. I keep getting lipstick on my teeth. Anyway, okay, so I'm so excited. I can't believe that we only have 2 summer camps left. And so our second to the last speaker, I'm just going to pull up her accolades really quickly. But I was so honored that she would agree to be on with us tonight live. She's had a big couple of years, and I'm excited for her to talk about some of those things. All right. Lafrida Williams. Lafrida joined Mary Kay Cosmetics, as an independent beauty consultant in January 2000. After her first year, she propelled to a very elite position within the company and earned her first career car. She debuted as a sales director July of 2001, which is the top 2% of the sales force. She's earned, oh my gosh, she's earned 55 gold medals, adding 5 or more team members in a month. Lafrida has been a star consultant for 68 quarters. Lafrida has also been in the National Court of Sharing 13 times, adding 24 qualified team members each time, and the National Court of Sales 8 times, selling over $40,000 retail individually. She's earned 12 career cars with Mary Kay, 8 of them being the prestigious pink Cadillac. Lafrida and her L3 unit achieved the 700,000 Circle of Excellence in the top sales director trip, a 7-day all-expense paid Alaskan cruise in 2017, and the top director trip in Buenos Aires. Oh, you leave soon. When do you leave?
In about 3-4 weeks. Well, it's the end of September, but I got a couple of trips between now and then.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Your husband's probably like he was already in love with you, and then you're in the top sales director trip. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so they're going to Argentina. In 2005, she earned the position of Most Improved Sales Director for the entire Sapphire Go Give area. She's earned the monthly Go Give Spirit Award for October 2014. This is the most prestigious honor in all of Mary Kay. Her highest monthly earnings with commissions, sales, and bonuses has been over $20,000. Lafrida has been featured in several company videos, and she was also featured on a billboard in New York City, Times Square in 2018. She's married to Ray, and they share 2 adorable children, Brandon, who is 27, and Brandy, who is 18. So please welcome and greet virtual clap, pink Cadillac driver from Little Elm, Texas, Executive Senior Sales Director, Lafrida Williams. Lafrida, I'm going to pause out my video and turn it over to you, and then I'll hop back on as soon as you're finished. Thank you for joining us today.
You are so welcome. Well, thank you so much, Leah, National Sales Director Leah Carter. It is a humbling honor to be able to share just a little bit about my passion and what drives me in my Mary Kay business. And I think for people to understand that part of what drives me is knowing a little bit of my background and kind of where I come from. I don't know how to make this bigger on me, but that's okay. I'll make it work. And when I started Mary Kay, I kind of say it was a rags to riches type story. And so my life completely changed because of my Mary Kay business. From where I came from in a 2-bedroom apartment to barely being able to make ends meet. At some point in my adult life, I was working 5 jobs and still struggling financially. So when Mary Kay came into my life for the second time around, when I really understood all the possibilities that could come from my Mary Kay business, I knew that if I was willing to do the work, that the results would show up. And so sometimes I think people know your passion and what drives you, what motivates you. And so for me, I totally love everything that Mary Kay stands for. And I've seen how it impacted my life. And so what my greatest joy and my greatest passion is, first, sharing the products, because truly nothing happens until someone sells something. And so just seeing the transformation in women's eyes when they try our product, from the way they look when they first come in to the way they look when they leave, the way I'm able to make them feel because of this amazing product. It's just a game changer. It was a game changer for me. And I learned quickly that if you share the same passion of sharing the products as you do sharing the opportunity, it's the same exact thing. It goes hand in hand. And so for me, I totally am driven by my family. My family has always been a huge motivating factor for me. When I came into the business, I came in to pay my baby's daycare. I only needed an extra $150 a week. So that's always been my motivation. So I always tried to tie my Mary Kay goals into my family goals, if that makes sense. Because a lot of times we get frustrated with when things are not going the way we think they should go in our business. Because when it's just Mary Kay, you can say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. Oh, my feelings got hurt. Oh, she canceled. Oh, I'm disappointed. You start with all these emotional things that we all feel. It's all natural. But when you have someone else depending on you to do what you said that you're going to do, you have those same emotions, but the passion that's inside of you, it pushes through. It breaks down walls that sometimes you don't even realize exist. And so let me just explain to you guys kind of what that looks like. For me, being a star consultant was always something that I knew I could do on my own. I could always handle that pretty much on my own through my own activities. But I had to figure out what was the income going to bring me from that star consultant program. Because just saying that I'm going to be a star, oftentimes consultants, we all start, or some consultants start out at the beginning of the seminar here. I'm going to be a 4-quarter star. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if you don't have something that's attached to the dollar value of what that brings to your family, that's why people miss it oftentimes. I feel like when I knew what I was going to do with that extra $1,800, it pushed me to be a star consultant every single quarter. And I always heard the stars drive cars, and sometimes you feel like you've been a star for quite a long time and that car hadn't showed up. But when you transfer that same selling skill into the sharing skill, then the car does show up, and directorship does show up, and the bumblebee does show up. All these things show up from that first beginning goal of selling the product. And I always tell myself from the very beginning, quitting or failure is not an option for me. Not that I always hit everything all the time, but giving up was just not an option for me. Because when we give ourselves a way out, we often take it. And so long as the women are connected to the product that makes them feel good, you're sharing the opportunity so that you can meet a need. I always was told, if you find a woman with the need, Mary Kay could feel it if she wanted it to be filled. Sometimes I was confused if they wanted it to be filled and they maybe didn't, and wasted some time and some energy believed in people who didn't pan out. All the things that all of us have, we have them too. We just press through. And I mean, we as directors and even directors that are on here, we learn to press through because we get emotional sometimes too. And so I love the fact that whatever I'm doing is tied to something for my family. And y'all, when you are others focused and others driven, it changes everything. For years, I felt like I was on this wheel of, I've been in Mary Kay now for almost 19 years. And for years, I felt like I was giving it my all, but not intentional. I was doing the activity, but I wasn't intentional about what I was doing and how I was doing it. And that's why I felt like I was on this hamster wheel that was going, but was going nowhere. And so one day I literally sat down and I prayed and I said, God, I'm not comparing myself to anybody else because I know I would be not doing myself justice, because we always compare our weaknesses to their strengths and their strength to our weaknesses. So don't even do that to yourself. But I said, God, I'm working as hard as I know how to work. I'm doing all that I know how to do. But why am I not yielding the results that I feel like I'm doing the work for? And it makes me emotional because I can strategically hear him saying, stop chasing the dollar and serve the people. And this was about 2014. Stop chasing the dollar and serve the people. And I'm like, God, I hear you. But me and my husband both are 100% self-employed. My Mary Kay business has always been, once I went full time, it was never that I could never not bring my income home because it took mine and Ray's income to run our household. And so I was like, okay, God, I'm going to trust you. So I do believe that part of my passion got deeper when my faith got deeper. I had to trust God at a whole nother level because I heard him, but I didn't understand what he was saying. And I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? And I could just hear him say, serve the people. And so, y'all, I got so excited. Even though I was passionate about sharing the product and passionate about sharing the opportunity, I was passionate about those things, thinking about at that moment what I needed to get because I was doing it for me and my family. So I was always had passion, but maybe it was misdirected passion. But when I heard him say that, I thought, let me dig a little bit deeper and let me start working with people one-on-one, which I had never really had done that before because I'm a strong D. I've softened up over the years, but I'm a very strong D. Part of the reasons why I recruited a lot and shared a lot and done the quarter share and have done the quarter sales, because if people weren't cooperative, if they didn't want to work, I was like, forget these people. I'm going to go and do what I got to do for me and for my family. And so that always drove me into doing it, but that's not servanthood. Servanthood is actually seeing what other women needed. And I went back into my unit and I was like, how do I help this person? What is her need? What is her need? And I always heard, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. And so it kind of registered that is exactly what God is saying. Serve the people. And so I got passionate about, maybe she didn't want to be a director. Let me help her do whatever it is she want to do. Let me help her do what she want to do. And so that's when the shift really changed for me. And so when I worked with people, I had to let everything in the past go. Whatever has not happened for you up until this point, let it go. It does not matter what happened last week, last year, last month. It's gone. Today is a new day that you can start fresh with new hopes, dreams, and possibilities. And so in doing that, things just start evolving. And when I went to parties, when I got with people, I went with no expectation. I went knowing that I was going to be intentional, but I didn't go with expectations of what I needed them to do for me. I went with what could I bring to them. And that made all the difference. Like my sales were even greater. My recruiting was even greater. It was just like the more I served, the higher I went. And y'all, I'm not saying be Salvation Army or run social services. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that for me, it shifted when I cared more about the people. And I can honestly tell you from year to date, if God doesn't do anything else for me, nothing else, He's done more than enough because I was willing to do what I had to do and what He was telling me to do. I'm passionate about running my own race, staying in my own lane, not comparing myself to anybody else because everybody's situation is different. I would love to be on my way to be national because that's what I want to be. That's one of my ultimate goals. But I don't want the troubles that they have because I'm gonna have my own troubles. And so I listen to what people say and I try to filter in what's for me and what's not for me. But my life situation is unique and it's different. So I would be doing myself a disservice to compare what I'm doing to what somebody else is doing. So you guys, find out what ticks you. What floats your boat? What gets you excited early in the morning? What keeps you up late at night? Because that is what, that burning on the inside of you is what manifests everything. I can remember telling National Leah when we had an event at her house one time, I said, why come I can't sleep? Why come my mind is always going? Why is my mind always turning? And she was like, that's what happens when you're ready to go to your next place. That's what happens when you're ready. And I mean, I'm learning to shut it off, but you guys, the rewards are so great. Wherever your passion is, that's where you're going to get paid the most. And my passion is in team building, not just for what it has done for me, but what I see it doing for other women who choose to do the work. We are going to work. I don't want to say hard, but it may be hard. It's hard and fun. It's already hard, but I may work sometimes more than other people, but I have choices that other people don't have because my passion is a direct proportion to my paycheck, if that makes sense. I love being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it because the passion of me sharing with other women how to have that same thing, that's how Mary Kay pays me. And so it's not just about the money because now it's like, I love what I do so much that it's just not about the money. The money just kind of is showing up because of the work that I'm doing. So find your passion, find your why, find what sets your soul on fire. I know one thing, a lot of people talk about being rich, and I was talking to my girlfriend earlier, and you know, it's one thing to be rich in finances and then be poor in spirit and in peace. And when you have the finances that you need, it totally puts you at a place of peace. And when you're able to give and serve like you've never had before, it changes everything. It totally changes everything. And so for me, I get passionate about every single program that Mary Kay puts out. Even as a sales director, I get excited about every promotion and I work to win. Do I hit everything? Absolutely not. But will you see me trying? Absolutely so. And once I've given something my complete all, if for some reason it don't happen, I don't feel no way up or down. I feel like, okay, what do you need to do different that will yield you better results? Self-evaluation is key in this business because we don't have a boss. Discipline is key. Passion with no discipline does not work either. I can be passionate all day long, but passion with no work, no action, I'm just going to be one happy, passionate, broke person. And so it doesn't add up either. And so just know it's important to have passion, to have your why, to know what the ultimate outcome is that you're working for, and know that every day is a new day that you can change not only your life, but change the lives of others. And I can remember first meeting Leah, and she talked about experiences. I was all about buying stuff for the kids, buying this, doing that, because that's kind of what I had seen. And so listen to other people till you get your own story. Learn the art of telling other people's story. Because now I'm not telling somebody else's story of what happened for them. I'm able to tell my own story because of what this business has done for me. And my whole reason for me to share and the way I share is not so it can be, oh, look at LaFrida. It's to be like, oh, look at her. Yes, I have the same exact products that she has. I have the same marketing plan that she has. The only thing that's different between me and someone who's more successful than me is the amount of people she was willing to talk to. In my book, that's the only difference. The amount of people that someone else was willing to talk to versus the amount of people that I've already talked to. So now I have a new passion of talking to more people so that I can get in front of more people so that I can share this awesome, amazing products with more people, so there's more people that I can share the opportunity with. You guys, when you don't work this business full circle, it's much challenging. It's much more challenging. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. Let's worry about the rule and not so much the exception. You will meet that hot shot and you will meet that superstar, but everybody's not going to be that way. Most successful beauty consultants, I feel, come from customer base. Customer base. It comes from getting the product on the face, her falling in love with the product, her falling in love with you, then she'll fall in love with this opportunity. People like us. 9 times out of 10, when you meet people, they like you, they fall in love with you, your personality, your attitude, your energy, your something. People like you. We just don't meet enough people to take us to the next place by helping them get to their next place. Whether it's a feel good by the way of the products, or whether it's a life-changing experience by the way of the opportunity. Every single part of this marketing plan, you guys, is strategically worked out in my mind. Every single way that Mary Kay pays us is strategically worked out in my mind. I can map out my paycheck better than that computer that they have over there at Mary Kay, because what I'm doing is tied to something that has something to do with more than just Mary Kay. I totally love being able to give my nieces and nephews experiences that they would not be able to afford if it wasn't for this business right now in this season. Life may change for them, but for right now, it's ain't freedom. And so that is what brings me so much joy, is being able to give and to serve other people. But you cannot give and serve from nothing. You can't. You have to be able to have resources to be able to give. So if it means I have to, again, stay up a little bit later, stay up a little bit longer, whatever it takes, that's my mindset. It's whatever it takes. I do not give myself a way out. I may get tired, I may go weary, but I go right back, get right back up and get right back on it. I can work twice as hard or twice as much as the next person to have 3 weeks off vacation for the year or 4 weeks off vacation for the year. You can do whatever you choose to do in this business, and that's what I love the most. You can be Caucasian, Hispanic, African American, Chinese. You could be anything. You could be fluffy, you could be skinny, you could be blonde, you could be brunette, you could be from anywhere and go where you want to go. I've seen it happen too many times before, and I'm just crazy enough to believe if I keep doing the work, I will get to the ultimate position. But I know to get there, I have to help a lot of other women or support a lot of other women get to their whatever it is that they're working on, because it's all about enriching women's lives. I'm passionate about Mary Kay. I love it. I often think, and I'm not going to get emotional, but I often think if somebody hadn't cared enough to share this business with me, what would my life look like today? Where would I live? Where would I drive? How would my children be? How would my family setup be? And to me, that is enough for me to share it with every single woman that I come in contact with. Because where I come from, most people don't live like I live, don't have the values that I have, don't have the lifestyle that I have. So it's not my job to decide who it's for. My responsibility is to share. And so I'm most passionate about sharing the opportunity because I've seen what it has done for my life. And I know what it can do for other women's lives. It took me a minute to grab hold to sharing with women who were already college educated or executives at different companies, or women that already had a 6-figure income, or that their lives were already, together. It took me a minute to get to where I could share a whole lot with those people because of where I come from. But that was always my own insecurities. And just realizing that this business is for every single woman who has a void or a need or want or desire. This could be her answer. And so it's my obligation, as well as yours, to pass it on. And the more passionate you are about what you do, you don't have to work as hard because people can see and feel your passion for them. You know, they can have that discernment that you really are caring about what's going on with their lives and how this business could benefit their lives. And y'all just, I mean, even at a skincare party, when a woman comes in, and we all have that one that's a little special, I would say, that has something going on that's causing her to be negative or frustrated or not want to participate, when all it really is that she needs somebody to love on her and some attention, because we don't know what they're going through before they get to us. Even seeing that transformation in a woman brings joy to my heart. It just brings joy to me that I can make somebody's bad day turn into a great day just because I showed love and compassion and truth with her. And you guys, it just has made a world of a difference in my life. I love everything about Mary Kay. I love the fact that, you know, I have a choice. I have freedom and flexibility that most people dream of. All while my life is very busy, very chaotic at times, but I still make it work. I do not make excuses. I was telling Ray, I said, you know, sometimes there is a lot of demands on me. I take care of my mom full time. I have the oldest of 5. You can imagine that. I'm just the go-to girl for my family. And so sometimes it is an overwhelming responsibility. But I thank God that he gives me enough sense that when I need to take a break and step away from everything, that I'm okay with stepping away from everything and being able to come back fresh, revived, ready to do what I need to do. And so I love, you know, I love what I do, but y'all, I have a very crazy, demanding life. But you know what? My mom always says, Frida, if anybody can do it, you can do it. And if God didn't feel like you could handle it, he wouldn't give it to you. Now, sometimes I do not want to handle it. Let's be clear. I do not. But if it's part of his will for my testimony to be a blessing to someone else, then whatever I'm going through, I have to go through it as graciously as possible. And that's one of the reasons why I cannot give up. I cannot give in. I have to press forward in all things. And so I am so thankful to be able to share with you guys tonight. And I pray that I have said something that has blessed you. I'm just overwhelmed to be able to share, because oftentimes when you guys see sales directors, you don't always, you know, you think, or like I used to think, that their lives were so picture perfect and they had no issues. And we have real life, like we have real life, but you know, you can still do it. You can still do it. Borrow my belief, because I've borrowed many people's belief in me until I was able to grasp hold to my own. But I love everything about what Mary Kay has done for me. Leah.
You're making us all cry. Our YouTube comments, everyone's like, she's making me cry now. Oh my gosh, thank you for just being authentic. I love when people are just the real deal, and you certainly are the real deal. I was cracking up, speaking of real deal, because one of my girlfriends sent me a text message. She's like, I love your hair. And I'm cracking up because this is probably like 5-day hair, and my legs are literally covered in paint. We were painting today, and I have paint everywhere. So I'm like, yep, real life. There you go. Just needed to look good up here. But thank you for sharing your heart. I think one of the things that stood out to me the most that I've never heard someone say before, so it was an aha for me, is misdirected passion. Because I think so often it's so easy to be like, but I am passionate. But if you're not passionate about the right things in the right way, then things won't line up how they're supposed to line up. And I've never heard someone put it like that before. So thank you for teaching me that today. And then I also love that you said self-evaluation is key. That was another takeaway that I took. Because I think, you know, when we work for someone else, it's normal to get evaluated. You usually go in for like your year review. And when do we really sit in and check on ourselves? You know, I remember one of my sales directors, we were talking about one of her consultants, and this consultant was just really upset because she felt like she should be making more money in Mary Kay and all this stuff. And my director asked her, she said, well, you know, if you were to work at a normal job based on your performance, like, would they have given you a raise? And she was like, no, there's no way. And so I think that evaluation on your own self is so so true. You know, in the last year, have I done the work that would merit a promotion to a sales director? Have I done the work that would merit a promotion to a top sales director? I mean, I can tell you all what, that the year that LaFrida earned her very first trip, she didn't work less, you guys. She hustled that year. She got her brain focused, her heart aligned, but she hustled. She hustled. But again, like she said, because she hustled, the result was choices. And I thought that was so powerful that you got to share that about the experiences that you've been able to create for your family. You know that I love that. And then a couple other comments that are coming through. Tanya said, it's such a blessing to be able to listen to you. You spoke so much life into my life. Marilyn Jenkins gets the award for your fan club, by the way. Comments. LaFrida, you're an amazing person and your heart is showing on the surface. God has and is using you. Sally said, inspiring. She's brought me back to my center, God. He called me to Mary Kay to build relationships for him. Kimoni says, I love your transparency and your soul. Marilyn, again, you are my inspiration. Love you so much, girlfriend. Let's see here. Let's see. Love your passion for words. They just keep saying, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. So your takeaway is that you're very loved. Okay, so the last thing that we have is the rapid fire round, where I have 5 questions for you that I didn't have you prepare for. Are you ready for them?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 1. You, my friend, are stranded on an island. You can only have one Mary Kay product. What is it?
My lip gloss.
What color?
Any color, but Fancy Nancy is one of my favorites.
I feel like if you're on an island, maybe you should go beach bronze. Just to That's hilarious. Your lip gloss. Well, you do have really nice lips, so I could see you like accentuate them. Okay. All right. What are, and I'm not going to say one because it's hard for people to pick one, but if you had to pick 2 books that really shifted you that you've read over your career, what would those 2 books be?
Visionary Leadership and The Circle Maker.
Both very good. Both very good. All right. If Mary Kay were still alive today, what do you think she would want us to know?
How important it is for us to not look at the person, but look inside the person and not be so quick to have our feelings, but think about the person. And I think she would say that because too many times we prejudge people when we don't know that we might be the one thing that she's praying for. And so just be willing to share with everyone because that's the one thing that she asked us to do.
I so agree with that. And you know what? I think, I hate to even admit this, LaFrida, but I feel like as the years go on, we are going to run into more awkward people. And the reason why I say that is I think a lot of people, if they're not in a culture like Mary Kay, they're losing their relationship building because everything is behind a screen now. You know, there's no need for me to go to your birthday party because you're going to post a gazillion pictures. And so I find that when I'm in skincare classes, it can be really easy for me to go, well, she was short with me. She must not like me. When the reality is that she might just be a little socially awkward and I just need to be her friend. She just needs a friend. And then, you know, maybe she'll be a consultant or something. And so I just wanted to kind of add on to what you said because I think it's almost like an art form that we develop in Mary Kay of being able to read people and be our authentic self, and they warm up to that. All right. You got to have one. You said 19 years in Mary Kay, right? Okay. In 19 years, what has been your most embarrassing Mary Kay moment?
Oh my God. So one year we were walking on the red carpet at seminar and I think it was like maybe my first or second royalty reception. I think it might have been the second one, but we were walking on the red carpet and I thought something is wrong with this carpet. Needless to say, one of my heels had broken on my shoe and it was going through the carpet. When we got there and we got situated, I'm like, it wasn't the carpet, it was my shoe. So my husband had a knife in his pocket. So he just cut the heel off the other shoe. And so my shoes was going up like this. when I was going across the stage to get my bumblebee. But I didn't care if I had to go barefooted. I had earned my bumblebee. I was going on the stage to get it. And so one of the girls, they made jokes about this for years, but at our awards dinner, she had the heel and she put it on a plaque. So then we would never forget the moment that I taught them a lesson. It don't matter what happened to you, you just shift and you go for it. But I'll never forget that as long as I live. Like they said, LaFrida, when you were coming down the stairs, your shoes look like elf shoes, like they were going like that.
I'm dying laughing. So you were at like an angle because I'm imagining the top was a little bit higher too. So how funny!
Well, I mean, once he cut the heel off the other one, they both were just like this. So the front part went up like this, and they looked like elf shoes. He just cut the heel off the other one that had broke.
I have to show you this. So I don't think you were in my seminar. So speaking of shoes, so when my national area debuted, you know, it's a thing like you all wear the same shoes. Well, we had 54 of us, and every person, like 90% of the area, wore a size 7.5. And there was no companies, like we would pick a shoe, and that company would only have like 27.5s. And then we'd have to move on to another shoe. And then this website would only have 15 7.5. So it was literally like I was at the point where I was like, just pick a shoe. Like, I don't care, just pick a shoe. And so this was the shoe.
Oh my God.
How high this platform. So your story had me cracking up because when you watch the video of my sales directors going off across the stage, they're all falling and like it was so. I mean, this is like I don't even know how many inches of a platform.
Wow.
But this was the only one that we could find that had the size for everyone, and probably I know why because they couldn't sell any. But anyway. Oh my gosh. So your story had me reminiscing about those days. Okay. And I love the lesson there in pivoting. And I love that your husband just was like, let's just take it off. So now do you bring like a backup pair of ballet flats with you or something?
No, you would think I would, but no.
That's awesome. Okay. All right. Last question. Very, very important. You and I meet up tonight and we decide to get tattoos. What do you get?
A rose.
And what, just because you like roses?
Because it symbolizes love, and I love flowers. Wouldn't want to do somebody's name. I'm kind of scared of tattoos, but I think I might could go with a rose.
Like a word. What word would you tattoo to your body?
Believe.
Believe. I like that. Well, LaFrida, I want to thank you for taking time from your family and your busy schedule for just really ministering to everyone tonight and just being such a great example of, I'm just going to say, a national sales director. You teach like a national sales director, so I'm going to breathe that on you. And we're excited to hear about Argentina. And just thank you for being such a passionate person in our Mary Kay world. Like, you add so much value to Mary Kay. I don't even think you know. So we appreciate you. And I hope everyone has a great night. And we will see you next week for our last summer camp. But summer is coming to an end. All right, you guys have a great night.